Right, what about this then? Since you already referenced the Vetheo topic, let's talk a bit about Misfits. So we'll start on that player right there. Right, here's what the key thing to me, because what people don't get is this. I generally hate hype, as in the idea that you like falsely overrate something or like make it seem bigger than it is, especially because usually it's just for like marketing reasons like clickbait or just fucking, sell you something and then once you've bought it, it's too late, to get the money back. So as a result, right, I don't think people get it. People always think I either like love the player and I'm just like a super fan of him or I hate them. It's not. It's that I hate overrating. But as a result, if there ever is a player who really does deserve the praise, I actually do think that as a distinction to show that they're different, you should really heavily praise them if they're worth it. And this is the difference. There's very few players in history you'll notice on these shows I put in that category out of rookies, because to me Vetheo's still a rookie. But he hasn't even played 3 splits. Like, to me, he's effectively still a rookie at the top tier, right? Mate, this guy's eye test from the second split, last split onwards, and in this split now, the eye test is fucking mega. We're talking like it's like a 9.5 out of 10, mate. Like, as you said earlier, not only does he almost never have a bad game, spin it the other way, he basically carries every game. And here's the difference, dude. In past years, right, when Humanoid came in Splice, for example, it's like, every 2 games, you'd be like, oh, there's something there. Like, he's pretty skilled, but like, I don't know, he starts to adapt to the game, work with these veterans. When Larson came in the league, you were like, well, he's a really good mage player, but to be fair, his team just plays scaling comps, they play very safe. Like, there was all these like other factors you could give. Dude, the thing about the Vetheo one that's a killer to me is last split, at least some of the other players were really good. Like Razog was amazing, Hirit was pretty good. This split, beyond like a few games where Hirit's got it together now, his team isn't even that good, dude. They have no business being where they are in the league right now. It's just this guy. Like, for real, I would probably give this guy the MVP unless something drastic happens at this point in time. He just looks like the best player in the LEC.
Yeah, I think he's definitely MVP candidate for sure. I think the other player that I would give some praise to is Neon. I think Neon's been playing like at a pretty consistently high level, and if you especially consider the fact that his support has had a very bad split, like obviously it's not a very bad split for rookie, right? Like, we're making the distinction of if we're gonna rate him against other players, like, I mean, like I said earlier, Promise.
It's like you said. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, Advian isn't in the league, is he better than Advian? Or if Mickey X wasn't in the league, is he better than Mickey X? You have to ask that question, basically.
Yeah, and I would say no. I would say that Vander, for example, last split performed at a higher level than Mercer this split, but I don't think that means they need to replace him. Like, if things are working and he shows promise and you like his mentality and you think he's improving, that's for them to decide. I just think that when you look at this team and you were to say, like, okay, your jungler is playing worse than Razork did last split. I think their jungler's fine. I'm not saying that their jungler is bad. I would just think that Razork had like an insane split last split.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, one of the best. So your jungler's playing worse. Hirit, I think, is playing worse this split than he played last split. And your support is playing worse than last split. It's like, and then you have Neon and Vetheo, and they're just carrying every fucking game. Like, that's really fucking impressive. I mean, Misfits is a team that when we set out everything at the beginning, we set out expectations for this team as people that watch the game. There's somebody that they should be fighting for 6th. They should be the team. They should be Vitality right now.
For me, best case, 5th place was what I would have said before the split. Best case.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, my top 5 was almost solidified in my mind. It was like, if you go back to the first episode, it was Rogue, in no particular order. It was Rogue, Fnatic, G2, Vitality, Mad Lions. I thought those 5 teams would be clear 5. And then the way I broke it down was then there would be a 6 and 7, which was Misfits versus XL. And then there was a bottom 3. There was an SK, BDS, Astralis. They're going to be at the bottom. That was the way I set up the split. Dude, Misfits is tied for fucking 2nd. And they're on a 5-game winning streak.
Yep.
Like, they look actually good. And when you look at the games they have remaining, like, I mean, they have some hard ones for sure. They have some hard ones for sure. But on the last week, they have, I believe, they have SK and Astralis on the last week. So they're set up to like have 11 wins. 11 wins is normally like 2nd or 3rd. So they're in really fucking good position. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with what I've seen. And I also have to like definitely say that I feel like this team was rebuilt really fucking efficiently. When you think about how much of a disaster this team was previously into what it is now, this is like, to me, a pretty good jamming job. Like, I would look at this and be like, they did work. They found the right players. They built around them. Like, this looks successful.
No, as far as I know, I'm assuming obviously Deficio's the guy who still builds the team. As far as I can tell me, he's just doing a great job all the teams he's been in. Like, and if people don't know, even the Origin example essentially was like he managed to get people to sign who shouldn't even have been on the team. They were overqualified. They could have got way more money elsewhere. So if you look, that was when he had like big names. These are some no-namers or just ERL players. And look what a great job he's done re-upping, like you say. With that said, though, here's the only downside is they're going to make playoffs almost certainly, as you're saying, with a very good seed, right? They're probably going to be like top 3. They might even be top 2 and get like the one of the spots where you can avoid being the one that Rogue plays. So in that world, right, there's a world where, yeah, they can finish pretty deep in the playoffs. I have to say, though, of all the teams that are going to the playoffs, I feel like in the playoffs it's going to be way harder in best of 5 series for this team particularly. Like, the problem is, mate, this isn't season 2 or season 3. Like, Vetheo can't really 1v9 a whole best of 5. Like, he can win you a couple of games for sure, but like, to win a whole series is fucking hard in 2022.
Oh yeah, it's really fucking hard. Hey, I'm not gonna put it past him though. I'm in the Vetheo.
I want to see it for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see it. I mean, he's one of those people that like he's playing well enough now that I'm just excited to watch every Misfits game.
Agreed.
Like every single. And the thing is, like you look at his champion pools, he's bouncing back and forth multiple different styles. He's diving things on Rise. He's playing his Zoe, which was his original. That was his one trick before. I was like, this guy when he's on Zoe is really good. When he's on everything else, he kind of sucks. This guy fucking plays everything now, right? Like he can carry the game on Corki. Even if the whole game's going to shit, it seems like he's solid enough of a rock that they can win games off it. And you know how those games work, man. Like when your bot lane does something as egregious as they did in this dive where they're 3-0 to start, and your top lane gets solo killed as well. Armut actually solo killed Hirit in this lane as well. Bro, that's one of those games where it's like if your mid laner makes one mistake, you fucking lose. The whole thing just comes undone the second that he makes one mistake, and he just didn't do it, and then they just win the game. Like it's fucking impressive. And yes, Mad Lion should never lose that. Don't take it the wrong way and be like, oh well, like are you saying that Misfits played perfectly? No, I just think that like he played pretty perfectly in that circumstance, and he capitalized on the fact that Mad Lions doesn't have it all together right now. But I mean, you're gonna have a lot of winnable games, and it's the same in every region. Like I literally watch so much LPL, and LPL is a mess right now too. And I think that when regions are a mess, you get to see more of like the individual players really shine. So you get to see players like Rookie really pop off because of everything being so inconsistent.
Yes. I mean, I will also say that's another factor as to why I think Vetheo can win these games, is most of the top teams at the moment. What's weird is at the moment, the split in LEC goes like this, Tom. There's teams who like have an identity. So like G2 actually look like they have a very coherent identity. It's just I don't think the players are actually the best. Then you have like the teams that are mega on paper, Vitality and Fnatic, but then they're so confusing in terms of how disconnected the players are. Like, I think what you're saying makes sense, because if people haven't watched the LPL, because they had one of the craziest like roster mania off seasons ever, where like almost everyone went to different teams and mixed up. Obviously, you get teams just aren't super strong from day one. Basically, only EDG kept the real lineup they had. So as a result, as you say, if you're some superstar like mid laner or top laner, game on. Yeah, if you're playing a bunch of like teams that aren't fully formed, you can just fucking shit stomp them if you get the right pick. Right? Here's the problem I have though at the moment is this is the one topic no one's going to want to hear, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Right, Dom, not only did we just do an off-season where despite the fact Rogue and Mad Lions were the best teams in the LEC, they both sold their best players. It's worse than that, mate, because Vetheo's contract ends at the end of this year. He doesn't even have to be sold. He can just, for free, walk to any team in the world who offers him the right contract. And spoiler, unless he's for some reason bizarrely, like, in love with Misfits org, it's surely not going to be the Misfits org he signs with. Like, dude, this should be one of the most eligible, like, fucking free agent, like, up-and-coming players we've ever had. Like, this should be everyone in the West almost offers this fucking guy.
This is where G2 or Rogue pulls their strategy, and they just, like, right now, they're trying to get him to fucking sign, like, an extension. Exactly. They're like, they'll give him a number, like, whatever his fucking, like, he was on a rookie contract, right? So, like, let's say he's making, like, 250 or 300. Maybe he has a really fucking good contract, and it's more than that. They're just like, hey, if you sign right now until 2024, we're giving you $500K a year, like period, like each year. It's $1 million contract.
Yep.
And that's where players normally like, they're like, I mean, look, things are going really well right now. You throw $1 million in front of like an 18-year-old, 19-year-old or something like that, it's really hard for them to say no. So I'm just expecting it. Look, this is what, when you see in like 3 months, like right before playoffs, that's how they do it. They do it right before spring playoffs when things are all good. When you see like, just want to announce Vetheo has re-signed until 2024. Don't think that means he's going to be on Misfits until 2024.
Just means they're going to get the fucking bag when they sell him. Yeah,
exactly. But that's how you GM a team. Like, I feel like this is actually really, really good GMing from Deficio, because they have something now worthwhile. They had nothing worthwhile. What did they have before? They had absolutely nothing. And now he's created value out of nowhere, which is going to keep them as a strong team, because if you get paid from somebody else, then you can buy another player that can be efficient for your team. So like, I really like how things are going here. You know, just a shout out to Deficio real quick, because I see the work that he's doing.
And also, what I'm also alluding to is beyond, like, I don't, like, as you say, even if he signs with Misfits, it's just so that then they can be the ones who capitalize on selling him. Like, spoiler, this guy will be on one of the best teams in the West, either LCS or LEC next year. So the good news is he'll have a good team next year. So don't worry, guys. It's only this year he's in fucking nightmare mode simulator. Well, right, what about this? Let me think.
The thing is, it has, look, this is the thing.
Yeah, go on.
It's only been, like, the best player on his team significantly for, like, half a split, like whatever, 6 weeks now. So it's not like he's in the stance where he's really like itching to leave. You know? Like, he's probably just enjoying the success, like enjoying the ride, you know. And this is the perfect time. I'm telling you, like, if Deficio watches this shit, this is the time you get him to fucking sign that contract. If you're a GM, like, you get him right now before he like really like believes, no, I am really just the next fucking great mid laner of Europe. You know, you get him early in the success chain.
This video was kindly supported by Ahmed Hadjou, Iskander, Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Travis Goff, Adam Ochs, Animosity, Butt Pounder 420, Hades, Jensen Goh, Joseph Ginsburg, Kovacevicd, Tobias Bernasconi, Toucan, William Peyton Lacy, Zoomba, Zyrathenia, and a special thank you goes out to Jerky's Minion as always. Do you want to suggest a topic or a guest for some of my content? Want to ask me a question in my monthly video AMA? Do you want teasers? Find out who the guests are going to be on my shows. Maybe you want to be part of one of those lengthy but in-depth and interesting discussions about esports with yours truly. Well, if so, put your money where your mouth is and join the Skrilluminati today via the Patreon link in the description box below.